Tonight, Whyalla police dealing with a spate of break-ins across the city, and Port Lincoln's childcare centres struggling to cope with demand.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Whyalla police are hunting for a man who allegedly broke in and stole a handbag from an elderly woman's home. The incident follows a spate of break-ins, including one at the local TAFE yesterday. Shari Hams has more.
O'Day Street, behind me, is where police allege a man broke into an elderly woman's Whyalla Stewart home while she was sleeping on Tuesday night. Aged in her 70s, she woke up to a man forcing his way into the house via the rear door just after midnight. The suspect then confronted the elderly woman before stealing her handbag and fleeing the scene.
Crime scene investigation have attended and are working with detectives to try and identify any links or any other tools or pieces of information that could identify the suspects. Police
say the woman was traumatised.
Certainly feel violated, so we're certainly working with her to reassure her, and we're working with the community to try and track these people down.
And Whyalla police are also hunting for a person who broke into TAFE campus around 4 yesterday morning, smashing 3 windows and damaging the library. Police are asking the public to help identify this man found on CCTV at the time of the incident. They say the incidents are not linked.
All reports of crime we analyse to look at whether there's any links. We're unable to say whether this is linked to any of our previous ones, but we certainly keep an open mind.
Police are continuing investigations on both incidents, urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers and remain vigilant by locking and securing personal property.
Young families in Port Lincoln say they're struggling with limited childcare services available in the region. Families are being turned away from daycare centres who've already reached capacity.
It's an important service helping families get back to work, but a critical shortage in childcare facilities is raising concern.
Ideally, we would like to have a place, not full time by any stretch, but a couple of days a week would be handy.
Dylan and his wife have 3 children, their youngest only 2 years old. He says a shortage in services has meant his wife hasn't been able to return to work.
We've really wanted to get our children into daycare. They've always had daycare in some form, and we think it's important in their development.
Dylan and his wife are considering moving to Adelaide, currently relying on the support from friends and family.
We've had to fly in my wife's grandparents from Adelaide, so they're here for at least 2 weeks at the moment.
Centre Alliance candidate Andrea Broadfoot says it's unacceptable.
It's fine for childcare workers to be paid more, but we actually need to have the places so that services can be provided.
In a statement to 7 Spencer Golf News, Port Lincoln's Children's Centre confirmed it had no new spaces available. Labor candidate Karen Bolton says their party has strong policies backing childcare access.
That will increase the service providers in our communities, and I think that's what we need to be looking at, real policies that provide ongoing future reform in this area.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
SUNDROP Farms, which operates out of Port Augusta, has been sold to a trans-Tasman investment firm. But company management say operations at the site will continue as normal. Garth Burley has more.
SUNDROP Farms say the future of its $200 million Port Augusta facility is safe, thanks to transnational investment firm Morrison & Co. purchasing the business. Although refusing to provide the purchase price, SUNDROP says the financial backing will give them stability.
What it means is that the business continues to power forward as it has been doing.
It says none of the approximately 170 workers will be affected by the deal, and operations will continue as normal. Despite recent speculation about the future of the business, management say Morrison & Co. would not have signed on the dotted line if SUNDROP was performing poorly.
I can say from an operating perspective, the results have been good and we're on a great trajectory moving forward.
Business Port Augusta also given confidence by the announcement.
It's good to see it that another investor's taken on board that Port Augusta is a worthwhile investment opportunity for them.
The sustainable tomato farm uses seawater and solar power to grow produce and currently holds a 10-year supply deal with Coles to provide them with fresh products in their nationwide business.
Up to 750 skilled migrants are set to help fill skill shortages in regional South Australia under plans by the state government. However, some have expressed concerns overseas workers could be employed at the expense of local job seekers.
Helping fill the gaps in our regions.
We do have a skills crisis in South Australia.
The state and federal governments have struck a deal to provide solutions to the skills shortages as part of its Designated Area Migration Agreement, or DAMA. It's revealed 114 occupations in regional areas will benefit, with the hospitality and agriculture industries key winners.
You know, chefs in the tourism industry, cooks, even diesel motor mechanics, there's shortages of those.
He also says the targeted migration policy will help local businesses combat staffing shortfalls. The opposition are supportive, but are concerned employers could pay migrants up to 10% less than Australian workers.
It's also bad for job seekers who in some circumstances might find themselves in competition with lower paid workers.
The government says the 10% figure is the comparable difference between occupations in the city and regional areas, and that workers would not be paid below the award rate. It's also emphasising that businesses must strenuously prove they've tried to source workers locally first before turning attention internationally. The intake of overseas employees will begin in July this year and will be capped at 750 people in regional areas. And with the DAMA offering a pathway to permanent residency, development officials say it could help boost the population of Spencer Gulf cities.
I mean, some of the cultural stuff that comes from other parts of the world is just going to make the region so much better to live in.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, paramedics take their training to new heights in the Flinders Ranges, and new cops hit the beat in Broken Hill. Welcome back. Paramedics have been busy testing their abseiling skills in the Flinders Ranges. Crews from across the Spencer Gulf took part in the training, practicing emergency situations in hard-to-reach places.
Abseiling ambos, learning new ways to reach people in need. 9 paramedics from across the Spencer Gulf have been busy conducting cliff rescue exercises in the Flinders Ranges.
Today we're teaching those paramedics how to access and rescue patients in austere environments safely and effectively.
A long way down for all involved. A steep descent from a cliff to simulate saving someone who's fallen off.
When a patient is injured or falls ill in one of these places, the paramedics need to get to them to provide their life-saving care.
The ambos proving to be quick on their feet.
Have you had any climbing experience before today?
Actually yesterday I had some.
Each eager to learn the ropes.
Learning to abseil for South Remote, setting up my absent equipment, and off we go for another practice.
Ryan Lovett says the training will better help local paramedics be prepared for emergencies, which may occur at Port Pirie Smelter or in nearby silos.
So the paramedics are really enthusiastic to have these skills because it just adds another bow to their quiver.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hill has held its biggest shooting competition of the year. The West Darling Championships saw over 80 shooters from across the country converge on the local gun club for the 2-day event.
We got some here from Echuca, we got all Victoria way, we got South Australian clubs here, New South clubs, a bit of a dib from everywhere really.
Organisers say the support they received from competitors as well as sponsors made it one of the best championships in recent memory. Still in Broken Hill, and the local police force has welcomed 2 new probationary constables into its ranks this week. The pair very excited to be stationed in the Silver City for the next 3 years.
Walking the Broken Hill beat for the very first time.
So it's been 8 months in the making to get out here, so it's good to finally be here. Yeah, meeting all the people in the station, everyone seems to be really friendly. Everything has a really great community feel as well.
Probationary constables Chad Chamberlain and Alex Sutherland started their posting in Broken Hill this week. Their first 3 days on the job spent getting to know the station, the city and the people.
Bit of paperwork, all the inductionary sort of things, meeting the officers in the station and meeting the people in the community. Don't know, it is a nice place, but I haven't really gotten to know much about it. I've only been here for about a week, so.
After their induction week, the pair from Dubbo and Lake Macquarie will join the regular patrols in the Silver City and the surrounding areas.
So after this week, they'll go on the beat and they'll get out there amongst it and start, attending jobs and doing different things, just the same as all the other police would normally do.
Inspector Smith says Broken Hill and the wider Barrier Police District sees plenty of new officers like Sutherland and Chamberlain every year.
We're always looking for new police to come out here, and the more we can get, obviously, the better we can, look after the town and patrol the town and keep things safe.
Patrick Ryankey, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Mid-North volunteer has been recognised for her tireless work at the Bullaroo Hospital. Avis Clark of Melrose has spent the past 28 years visiting in-house residents.
Avis Clark, the Rose of Melrose, has been donating her time and flowers to the Bullaroo Hospital for 28 years, spurred on by the joy she brings the residents.
Well, it helps the people that are in residence to pass the time of the day, and otherwise, if they don't have visitors, there's no one to talk to.
Her visits playing an important role in lifting the morale of staff and patients alike.
She's just such an amazing, caring, giving person, and the residents just look for her to come each week.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Esther.
But a bunch is never far behind.
Because I grow flowers and I like sharing them, not just trimming them off when they're dead, but I like sharing them with people.
Julie saying the hospital is always looking for more volunteers.
Volunteers are what make an organisation tick. So not only do we have volunteers, that rubs off onto our staff.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Well done, Avis. After the break, while is RSPCA preparing for this weekend's Million Paws Walk, and we'll have the midweek weather details with Louise. Hello again. Furry friends of all shapes and sizes are invited to Wyler's Million Paws Walk this Sunday. The annual event will be raising money for the RSPCA to help animals in need.
Poochers and their pals will be hitting the streets nationwide this Sunday morning. The Million Paws event is one of the biggest fundraisers for the RSPCA shelters.
So that comes directly to the RSPCA, so it will come into our shelter, help our animals in here, puts inspectors on the road, pays for vet bills, puts rescue officers on the road.
Held in 6 regional locations including Whyalla, the annual event comes at a busy time for the local shelter, with Senior Officer Fradaman saying there's been a surge in demand.
Really busy here at the shelter. We've had plenty of members of public coming in, adopting animals.
The walk will be starting at 10 a.m. at the wetlands, and the RSPCA is encouraging those who haven't registered for the event to come along on the day and bring their best friend.
I've already registered online at millionpawswalk.com.au. We'd like them to come a bit earlier, probably around 9 o'clock.
And if you come across stray or injured animals...
Okay, so if you see an animal hurt, you'd call our 1300 number, 1300 4777 22. For any stray animals, contact the council next door.
Shari Ham, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Time now for a look at the petrol prices in our area. Here's Patrick in Broken Hill with this week's Fuel Watch.
It's a bit of a mixed bag at the Bowser this week. While some townships have seen a drop in their price, others have seen a jump. Starting with unleaded, and Port Lincoln is the most expensive on the board, paying a pricey $1.53. Whyalla has gone up by a cent, the price there 10 cents cheaper than Lincoln. Port Augusta is on $1.49, Port Pirie $1.47 after falling a cent. Kadina has enjoyed a reduction of about 3 cents in its price, local motorists paying around $1.44 to fill up. Broken Hill is paying $1.50, the same story in Adelaide as well. Turning over to diesel now, and there's not much to talk about. Port Lincoln's still on $1.53, while breaking even at $1.48. Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Kadina are all averaging around $1.50. Broken Hill has got some green this week, seeing a 2 cent decrease, but we're still paying a fair bit though. Adelaide is also on the way down, dropping by about a cent to hover around the high 140s. Finishing off with a look at auto gas, Port Lincoln is paying a bit more this week, going up by about 6 cents. Whyalla is paying 91 cents a litre. Port Augusta and Port Pirie Pirie have seen no movement at all. Remarkably, those two, along with Kadina, are all averaging the exact same price, 89.9 cents a litre. Here in Broken Hill, we've jumped by 3 to be paying the same as Whyalla. Adelaide rounds out the board, seeing a little bit of movement, but still paying 84 cents. Now remember, these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do find a spot that does sell unleaded, auto gas or diesel for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Weather time now, here's Louise.
Good evening. It was another fine day across the region with most temperatures in the low to mid-20s. Port Augusta fine and sunny, a top of 23. Whyalla and Port Lincoln sunny and 20, while Adelaide was partly cloudy and 20 degrees. On the satellite, scattered light cloud over the south of the state is causing some light showers, but skies are mostly clear elsewhere thanks to a dominant high pressure system. On the waters, and winds will be turning northeasterly, reaching 15 knots, seas at around a metre. And the days are getting shorter. The sun will rise at just after 7 tomorrow morning, with sunset before 5:30. More sunny conditions expected across the region tomorrow. Port Augusta set for a top of 23 degrees, while Port Lincoln and Coffin Bay 21. Broken Hill sunny and 20, Port Pirie 21, and Adelaide will be sunny and 21 degrees. Looking ahead to the weekend now, cloud will develop in Port Lincoln on Friday before showers across the weekend, 20 on Saturday and 19 on Sunday. Cleve will hit 23 on Friday before 20 and rain on Saturday with some clearing showers on Sunday. Whyalla will reach 23 by Friday before showers over the weekend. Port Augusta will be fine and sunny through to Saturday before cooling down on Sunday. And Kadina can expect a wet weekend. Similar conditions in Port Pirie, falling to 19 by Sunday. A bit cooler in Clare with showers and 17 expected by Sunday. And Broken Hill will remain dry and in the 20s until Sunday before some showers. And that's all for tonight's weather. John, it's back to you.
Thanks, Louise. And that's your local news for Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have some updates later in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening here on 7. From the team, good night.